Greetings, dear viewers. Have you ever wondered how to maintain inner peace when the world seems unpredictable and hectic? Probably. Each of us has gone through difficult times when it seemed that we were losing control. Today I will tell you about 9 Stoic principles that can help us find inner peace in the most difficult situations. What makes Stoicism such a powerful tool in maintaining mental balance? How can these principles become your reliable companion in times of uncertainty? The answers to these questions are waiting for you in our video today. Enjoy watching. The principle of influence. The principle of influence, also known as the principle of internal control, suggests that external events are often beyond our control, but we always have control over our own reactions. This means that our happiness and inner peace should not depend on external circumstances, but on our inner attitude to these circumstances. The prototype of this principle is the famous statement of Epictetus. It's not the worry that makes people, but the attitude to worry. Stoics teach us to free ourselves from unnecessary stress by focusing on what we can control: our reactions, judgments, and choices to relate to events. In everyday life, this means being aware of your reactions to events, the ability to remain calm in the face of difficulties, and make decisions based on reasonable judgment rather than emotional outbursts. For example, if something does not go according to plan, the Stoic tends not to sink into despair, but to reflect on how best to respond to the current situation. The principle of influence, in my opinion, is a powerful tool for maintaining emotional balance. By focusing on what we can control, we avoid unnecessary stress and create the foundation for resilience in difficult conditions. This does not mean denial of reality or indifference, but rather an emphasis on constructive, rational influence on the world around us. The principle of wisdom. In Stoicism, it implies the ability to distinguish the important from the unimportant. Stoics call for careful choice of what we pay attention to and what we devote time to. This principle is based on the idea that true wisdom lies in the ability to separate the essential from the secondary. How do the Stoics explain this? The prototype of this principle is the concept of evaluating inner goodness, the ability to determine what is truly important for our well-being. The wisdom is not to waste energy on insignificant things and focus on what really has value. How is it applied in life? In everyday life, this means constantly being aware of your goals and values, so as not to get lost in a sea of small things and unimportant worries. Making decisions based on wise choices helps you focus on what is important and use your efforts effectively. In my opinion, the principle of wisdom is certainly the key to managing your life effectively. The ability to distinguish the essential from the secondary helps to avoid unnecessary stress and focus on what is really important. This allows you to live more consciously and find satisfaction in what truly has value. The principle of acceptance. The principle of acceptance in Stoicism is the ability to wisely and calmly accept those aspects of life that lie beyond our control. Stoics teach us not to waste energy fighting the inevitable, but on the contrary, to accept variable conditions and find opportunities for personal growth in them. The prototype of this principle is the famous statement of the Stoic Epictetus. We have no power over external events, but we have power over our judgments. Stoics teach us to let go of those things that we cannot change and find the strength to change our attitude towards them. In everyday life, this means that we face inevitable difficulties and changes, but instead of resisting, we accept them as part of our journey. The principle of acceptance helps to maintain inner peace in the face of changes and circumstances that lie beyond our power. The principle of acceptance is a wise philosophy, especially in a rapidly changing world. The ability to accept events with dignity and without resistance helps us to adapt effectively and maintain inner peace in any circumstances. The principle of the current moment. The principle of the present moment in Stoicism calls for an active presence in the present. Stoics claim that, despite the influence of the past and the future, true power is revealed right here and now. This principle emphasizes the value of mindfulness and the ability to appreciate the current moment. The prototype of this principle is the idea that the present moment is the only reality. The past and the future, of course, can influence our lives, but our ability to act and influence manifests itself in the current moment. In everyday life, this means a deeper perception of current actions, interacting with the world around you with full dedication, and the value of every moment without unnecessary worry about the past or the future. It also implies the ability to find joy in the simple and everyday moments of life. My opinion, the principle of the present moment reminds us of the importance of the present time. In our rapidly changing world, the ability to enjoy the moment is a precious skill that brings not only inner peace, but also the richness of life. The principle of justice. The principle of justice in Stoicism implies not only fair treatment of others, but also justice for oneself. Stoics teach us to balance our interests with our responsibilities towards others. This principle is based on the belief that treating others honestly and fairly creates the basis for inner peace. The prototype of this principle is the concept of justice and selflessness in everyday interactions. Stoics urge us to do things that are consistent with universal human values and justice. In everyday life, this means respecting others, treating others fairly, and striving for actions that serve the common good. The principle of fairness also includes balancing one's interests and responsibilities in order to create harmony in relationships with others. The principle of justice reminds us of the importance of respect for others and for oneself. The creation of a just society begins with individual actions, and this principle of Stoicism emphasizes the importance of honesty and selflessness to achieve inner peace. The principle of creation. The principle of creation in Stoicism tells us, don't waste energy on complaining, direct it to creativity. Instead of becoming a victim of circumstances, the Stoics teach us to see challenges as an opportunity for personal growth and creativity. Sometimes the world seems complicated and unfair, but even in these moments there is a place for action. The principle of creation implies an active desire to create positive changes, whether in personal life, in society, or in the environment. A creative approach is not only satisfying, but also helps to find non-standard solutions in difficult situations. This means using your skills and resources for the benefit of yourself and others. After all, in every challenge, there is an opportunity not only to overcome difficulties, but also to contribute to the improvement of the world around. The principle of creation urges us not to remain passive observers, but to become active participants in the process of change. This is not only a way to become a better person, but also to inspire others with your example. Imagine that the world is a canvas, and we are the artists of our destiny. In every moment, even in difficult times, we have brushes in our hands that can create something new and unique. The principle of creation urges us not to give up in the face of challenges, but to use our inner potential to shape the environment around us. The principle of gratitude. The principle of gratitude in Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we have, even in the most difficult situations. Stoics suggest seeing the benefits in the smallest details of life and urge you to maintain a sense of gratitude even in times of uncertainty. In the daily hustle and bustle, we often forget about what is already in our lives. The principle of gratitude reminds us of the importance of appreciating our relationships, achievements, even those difficulties that can be a source of lessons and growth. Gratitude is not just a formal expression of appreciation, but a way of life, a way to create a positive attitude towards the world. It is also a Stoic tool for maintaining inner peace in situations that might at first glance seem like a challenge. Let's use this principle as the key to pacifying the soul in unpredictable times. After all, even in the most difficult moments, the ability to see the bright side and be grateful for the simple joys of life makes our path more meaningful and saturated. The principle of gratitude in Stoicism is like a light in a dark forest, reminding us of the value of the moment and that there are many incredible treasures in our lives. And even when clouds of uncertainty are hanging over the horizon, Gratitude is our inner lantern, illuminating our path. Fidelity to this principle helps us not to get lost in the storms of everyday life. He makes us stop, think, and see beauty in simple moments. Gratitude is the worship of life, and the recognition that even in the most difficult situations there is a place for joy. Let's learn to be grateful for every day, for every breath, for every lesson that life brings. May gratitude become our compass, guiding us forward, even when the road ahead is uncertain. The principle of detachment. The principle of detachment in Stoicism presupposes the ability to let go and be distracted from what lies beyond our control. This means that we must learn to maintain inner peace, not allowing external circumstances to influence our emotions and decisions. The desire for detachment is based on the idea that a person has control only over his judgments, actions, and inner world. External factors, such as other people's actions or unforeseen circumstances, can be influential, but responding to them is our choice. In everyday life, the principle of detachment implies a conscious attitude to external events. This is not a denial of reality, but rather the ability to react with wisdom and calmness, even when events do not go according to plan. The principle of detachment can be especially useful in times of uncertainty, when many aspects of life may not be under control. It provides a tool for maintaining emotional balance and focusing on what we have the power to change: our inner attitude to events. The principle of introspection. Introspection in Stoicism is a constant and critical examination of one's actions, thoughts, and values. Stoics claim that understanding oneself is a key element of personal development and achieving inner peace. This principle encourages us not only to react to external events, but also to look inside, analyze our reactions, combat negative character traits, and strengthen positive ones. Introspection allows you to become more aware and responsible for your life. In everyday practice, the principle of introspection includes honest reflection on one's actions and decisions. Questions such as, "Why did I do this?" or "What lessons can I learn from this situation?" They become the basis for personal growth. Especially in times of uncertainty, when situations can change quickly, the principle of introspection helps to maintain clarity in your goals, adjust your behavior, and manage your inner world even in changeable conditions. The principle of introspection invites us on an inner journey where we become observers of our own thoughts and actions. This is not just a look in the mirror, but also an exploration of what is in the very depths of our consciousness. In a context of uncertainty, where changes can be rapid and unpredictable, the principle of introspection becomes a powerful tool for adaptation. It allows us to quickly recognize and understand our emotional reactions to changing circumstances, giving us the opportunity to make more thoughtful and wise decisions. Introspection also helps to identify and correct thinking patterns, biases, and other factors that can influence our perception of situations. This is a process of self-reflection, which contributes to the constant growth and improvement of personality. Thus, the principle of introspection is not only a desire for self-knowledge, but also a tool for developing the ability to adapt and maintain inner peace in conditions of uncertainty.